Here is a look at the heat map for Friday, November the 14th. Microsoft up 1.37%, Oracle up 2.43%, Palantir 1.09%, CrowdStrike 1.47%, AVGO 0.73%, Micron Technology up 4.17%, and NVIDIA up 1.77%. And speaking of NVIDIA, according to Fidelity, orders by Fidelity customers, NVIDIA ranked number 1 with 55,000 shares purchased. For the sell orders, 30,496. Tesla behind that at 51,396 shares purchased and 30,000, nearly 31,000 sold. Now VOO, 57,300 buy orders and 4,409 sell orders. What I don't understand is if you own Fidelity, why would you buy VOO within your Fidelity? That would just, I would never do that because of the expense ratio. I own Vanguard and I would buy Vanguard's ETFs within my Vanguard account and Fidelity's ETFs within my Fidelity to save on the management fee. That's ridiculous. I would never do that. Now, here's VTI, 21,000 shares purchased, and the sell order 1,860. Now, there is another one I want to look at, and what was that? Oh, that's right, SOXL. We're starting to bleed out there. 11,635 shares purchased and 8,584 shares sold. So that's good to see that people are buying despite the market collapsing on us, it feels like. If you've looked at your long-term account, you'll see. But if you don't need to look at it, just forget it because it's not pretty. Now, I want to go over a couple of tickers. Let's first go over, well, let's just do MU since it ran on Friday, up 4.17%. I own this ticker. We ended the day at, again, 246.83. Well, I shouldn't say again, I just talked about it, but I didn't give you the price. 246.83. And let me give you some price levels. 2 standard deviations takes us to roughly 257.28, and that would take out our 52-week high. Should we be lucky and get to 4 standard deviations, that would be 262.71, and don't hold your breath for this price target on Monday, 268.26. That will happen at some future date, but I don't think that will happen on Monday. 246.27 if we continue to grind sideways, and -2 takes us to 234.87. That's a good spot to put a stop loss as well, or perhaps a buy-in order. Stop loss order 229.44 or a buy order. It just depends on where you previously bought in or what position you're trying to take. 223.83. Note the bounce here at support, sell off close to the resistance, and I expect price to stay within -2 and 2, and it is going to recalculate. This will take us, oh well, actually it already took us to roughly 253.08, close out a gap. That opened up on Veterans Day. And voila, this one closed to the downside at 237.90. And then we bled out some more and then bounced. Here there's a bounce off of support, sell off resistance. This gap closed. It's been a little while since I've cleaned this up. Closed on the 4th. Took us down to 224.25. Went down some more. Oh, and we have a gap here for a retracement. Let's mark that out. And that will take us down here. And that is actually, oops, to the downside. So watch out for that. And the RSI is at the oversold area, so it could bounce off of that, or we could bleed out and close in this area. Well, not close on Monday, but head towards that area, and then watch out for this. So if you like to go short, at some point, I think it will go down to that level, and that one closed out, I think. No, it actually didn't. Let's take a look at this on the daily. All I care about with the daily is looking at the RSI and trolling. So it's frothy here on the RSI. I bought in at 81.51. So that's my buy-in. And the next leg up on this one is 300, I think. No, yeah, 328. All right, so on the daily, watch out, but we are going up, but it could. Let's move this down a little. Get to, oops, I have my listening. I'm gonna have to hit stop listening. All right, we could hit up to 82 in the reverse or not get there, but still we have room to move to the upside. And then the next leg up is 193.03. And then for the leg down on the daily, 154.51. Let's take a look at the RSI on the weekly, getting frothy. And on the monthly, where I like to start positions, all right, that is starting to run, and then we'll probably roll over. So the next leg up on the monthly takes us to 206.13, and looks like 130, oh no, 124 is the lowest I've seen it in a little while. Note the bounce here at support, didn't quite make it up to this middle of the trend line, back down to support, and then a buy-in. And then, of course, we sold out here. That corresponded with this RSI. Okay. Wait, I'm so sorry. I accidentally went to VLO, Valero Energy. So whatever I just said was for Valero. Let's go to the MU. Whoa, look at that. Overextended on the monthly. Watch out. It's going to sell off. And on the weekly, we're also starting to possibly hit a plateau and roll over. And on the daily, we have room to move. Okay, so on the daily, the next leg up, of course, it's not going to just go straight up, will take us to roughly 277.01. Now let's look at SPY on the daily. Watch out for gaps to the south side. That one looks like it closed. All right, 2 standard deviations takes us to 708.46. And to the downside, 653.46. Let's go to the 5-minute and I'll give you price targets for Monday. Okay, we're in a downward channel. This gap, that was an expected move, touched right here. Took us down to 671.19. Oh, let's close out this one. That took us to roughly 682.73, an expected move. It's been a while since I've cleaned things up. That gap took us to 680. And that one closed at 668. Note the run up at support. All right, let's give you targets. Then I've got to go. All right, to the north side, 676.80. I should just stop there. But if we are lucky enough to wick up to that level, that will take us to, oops, Command Z, 679.71. That gap will close out at 4 standard deviations, 682.67. Let me just mark this. But to the south side, because there's always a south side. All right, that closed. Oh, that one closed too, so that's good. And that one needs to be cleaned up a little. Right about there. And this one closed. That took us down to 658.38. All right, the next target down, it looks like, did that close? Come on. Yep, that closed. What's happened? Okay, that closed. I need to clean that up. That closed to 635.96. Delete. 632.33 is still in play, as well as 622.43. So watch out. And we are still in a downward channel on the 5. You know what I want to look at very quickly is Mara. I'd like to pick some up here. This is the 5-minute. Ignore all the horizontal lines. It's been a very long time since I looked at this. All right, your targets. 1240, 1261, and down the road, 1282 to the south side. Support, oops, 1159, 1139, and 1118. So potential buy-in area as well, buy-in area, buy-in area, buy-in area, stop loss, stop loss, stop loss. Looking left, you can see this gap, ooh, is still in play. Let's draw it out while I'm here so I don't forget. That will take us to 1272. I'll change the color later. And I marked this out in November. That should actually be in purple. I looked at this for myself. I did not do a recording. And then it's been forever since I looked at this. Let's just look at this on the daily so I can fix some of these gap fills. Okay, ignore my chart. This is how long I've been looking at this thing. Okay. I have bought and sold out of here. Looks like the highest I sold out was at 2680 maybe. I got to go back and look. Okay, but that's another day. On the daily, RSI, ooh, yeah, getting into the oversold territory, which is good if you're trying to buy in. At least it's good for me. I like it. Buy in again. 11.99. So we're all the way down here. And the next leg up is the middle of the trend, 1607. Okay, the only thing I want to do now is take a look at this RSI on the weekly. What does the weekly tell us? Is this a buy position? Nope, still going down. And on the monthly, still going down. So there is bleeding still going on. Option R. You know what? I want to show you one other thing. GIS. I want to get back into this one, but I'm going to show you what we look like on the monthly first. RSI turning up. This looks excellent for a potential buy-in area. And I'll give you the price targets on the 5. Okay, that's on the monthly. On the weekly, RSI also turning up. And we're here. So the next leg up on the weekly would be 65 bucks. But there's also a downside, and that is 37.38. But according to the analysts, because I've already looked at this, the lowest is 46. That's changed a little bit, but 46. And I marked that out, 46.31, because that's where it was previously. And so things change. So you always have to be looking at this. And on the daily, what does it look like? It's starting to kind of crawl up maybe, and then maybe roll over. I don't know. But if it were down here, the monthly was down here, the weekly was down here, all the forces would be lining up for a buy. But right here, it's going up, but I don't know if it's going to curl over. So let's go to the 5-minute. I got out of a position just to buy in cheaper because I bought in and then it tanked. Of course, it always does. And I'm horrible at setting a stop loss. But if you cannot afford to not get your money back and you're just starting out and you're just starting to trade, you need to set a stop loss. That will wreck your account. So we have a gap down to, oh my gosh, 46.31. What did I say? Oh, it's $46 is the low. So 46.31 for me is the low. Could go lower for, you never know. Could go down back to here at 45.80 too. Okay, but just keep this in mind. I'm going to set a buy order down here. All right, what else? Price targets on the 5. What are we at? 47.41. Oops. Come on. This does pay a dividend as well. 5 point something. What is it? 5.44. Oh, sorry. They paid out 5.67, 5.6, and 5.44, but, here we go, 5.10. Okay, 5-minute time frame. $48.06 down the road, $48.36 and $48.66. Now the middle of the trend is right here, very close to this old line that I drew out on Friday, October the 24th. So I bought some here because it had tanked and then it tanked some more. And I could have gotten out previously over here, but I wasn't paying attention. That's my other thing. Okay, I'm going to delete this one because it's too close to my current middle of the trend line. So a stop loss area, 46.90. Potential buy in as well, 46.61. This gap closes out at 46.31. Okay, and note the sell-off at resistance and resistance here, and a buy-in at support. But I need this to come down here and this RSI to be down here to be in alignment too. And then, well, I just hope a wick will take us down here. And so originally I bought in here. I got rid of it here just to get out at 0.11%. Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Chase, they all pay in their regular savings account right now because I looked 0.01%. Even though I only made 0.11%, it's better than putting it in the bank. You got to set your stop loss though. Then I did have some up here and then I sold up here for 0.38%. Now I want to buy down here. Okay, so I bought here and my goal is to buy down here somewhere, preferably closing out this gap. So that's what I will be doing next. But I really do want to get some of this General Mills. Okay, and that does it for me. If there is a ticker you'd like me to go over, let me know.